Hi and welcome to the first in a 6-part series for SecEd, talking about how we can use social media better in schools, whether it's using it with the students to deliver the curriculum, to communicate with parents, to communicate with media, or just digital tools that you can use in the classroom or replacing other software that you use at the moment. So this week we're going to talk about how you can use Facebook with students. Enjoy. This is just a little how-to to go along with the article for SecEd, just to explain a little bit about why you might want to use them and how you can set it up. So this is my own Facebook account, and you can see from down the side here I'm a member of quite a number of groups. Now lots of these are classes of students at the college that I teach at, and a couple of them are for editorial groups that I'm part of, where we all contribute to the same online magazine. So first of all, I'm just going to talk through how you would create a group. Group is name it, so I've just named this one SecEd Demo because we're just doing a little demonstration, and you need to think about the first members that you're going to invite to join. So I would advise that you get a couple of members of staff to sign up first so that you can try out the group among yourselves and decide how you're going to use it. I would make it a secret group because once your group is set up, you don't want anyone else to find it by mistake. You want only the people you've invited and given permission to join to be able to see it. It's not a problem if you just do a closed group because only the members can ever see the posts within it, but I just like to keep mine as secret groups when it's anything to do with students. Okay, after you've done that, just click on Create. Next all important thing you'll be asked is what icon you want to use, so whatever kind of vibe you want to create for your group, whether it's for a class or whether it's for, it might be for one of the sporting or extracurricular activities that go on within the school. So whatever that might be, click your icon and click OK. The first thing you'll want to do is pop up some rules and regulations when you set up your group. The rule that I use with my students, they get a total of 10 marks for their coursework and exam for that whole term. So if they post anything deemed inappropriate, then they lose one of those marks and they can never get it back. So it's essentially like losing 10% of your overall grade for that course across the term. And that's the minimum that you'll lose if you use the group inappropriately. And touch wood, we haven't had any problems since, and we use it at the college with a number of groups. Now, however, I accept that my students are a little bit older than your students might be, so one of the things that I would recommend, and it's something that I do with my Girl Guide unit, who are obviously quite a lot younger, is sitting down and deciding on the rules and regulations within the class so that they have ownership of how the group is going to be used, and then they will also be encouraged to try and police that action themselves. As long as you also include your online safety rules and bullying rules that you have across the school anyway, and make those really clear, then it's just nice for them to also have ownership of their own community rules and how they want people to communicate on the group. Again, you want buy-in from everyone to encourage them to use it thoroughly. So once you've done that, you want to make a file of all your rules and add it here. Just click on Add File, choose from your computer and add it the same way you would add any file. You can also just add it as a text update in the same way that you would update any of your Facebook things. So again, I would put it as both, so that it's the first thing people see when you've just started the group, and also so the file is always there and you can refer them to it at any time. As you want to add new members, you can just click here and type in their name. If you're friends with that person on Facebook, you'll be able to add them automatically. Again, this is probably a topic for a different week, but I wouldn't recommend anyone ever friending students from their school or college on Facebook. So this is something that you will probably just have to send the link for the group to everyone in the class and get them to request to join, and then you have to give them permission. One of the other options you can do is invite by email. So if you add in their school email addresses, and you can click invite there. So the option's really up to you. If you have email accounts for your students, then you can do it that way. If you don't have email accounts, then give them the link to the website, write it up on the board and get them all to access it directly and invite. You as the administrator of the group will be able to give permission as people ask to join. And so if anyone from another class tries to join the group, then you can just not give them permission and they won't be able to see what's on there. Now, why should you use this group? Well, I use it so that the communication is more open. So again, I deal with students aged 16 to 22. across different classes that I teach, and it's very useful when I've got resources and things that I want to just put out to the group as I find them online. So I'm a part-time teacher and a consultant the rest of the time, so articles and pieces of information, videos that I find that are going to be useful for my students, I want to be able to share them wherever and whenever I want to, so that they can comment on them. One of the other great things they can do is if they have any questions, and again it's a day when I'm not in college, they can write it up on the question here, tag me in the post. Even though we're not friends on Facebook, they can tag me because we're all part of the same group, and they would do that just by clicking at and then starting to write my name, and the option would come up and they can just click on my name. So if they tag me in a post and then ask what time is our session on Wednesday, for example. Now either I can get back and answer that question, or one of the other students would see that, they might know the answer and get back before I can, and that's the important thing. It's giving them the power and the responsibility to share information within the group. And again, as a part-time teacher, I find this very, very useful. But even if you're part of a secondary school where obviously you're teaching for certain sessions throughout the week, so you're not always available to everyone. So this is a really good way of people being able to post and ask questions, and fellow students are able to feedback, other staff members as well if they're a member of the group, or you'll be able to get to these questions and answers very quickly on your mobile phone if you happen to be on a down moment. I know that's laughable, but the opportunity might be there. Now what else can you share? So again, you can add photos and video just in the same way that you can with all of your Facebook materials. You can ask a question, so you can poll the class, and you can do that live during the session, or you can do it afterwards between sessions as part of the homework and ask questions. We also use this as a collaboration tool with other software. So if we're doing a survey like SurveyMonkey, for example, then we'll share the link to the SurveyMonkey on the Facebook group and encourage everyone to click on it and then go and answer the questions. Up here, you'll notice you've got the About section. So if you want to click on that, oh yes, I do want to leave this page, thanks very much. On the About section, you want to add a description, and again, you can reiterate your community rules here if you like, or just give a little description of how you want the group to be used. Next to that is the Events option. Now again, this is a really nice option because you can create a little event where you can invite everyone in the group, and so if it's a field trip, if it's an assembly that you need everyone to go to, regardless of what it is, it could be an internal event or an external event, you can use this as a way to remind everyone. And the great thing about that is that lots of students will have Facebook on their mobile phones, and therefore if it's something they need to bring equipment for, or they need a reminder about something they need to do in advance of an event, then this will pop up on their phone in advance. So it's very, very handy to be able to do this, and you can just invite all members. And again, you can do this even though you're not friends with the students on Facebook. Next to that, you've got pictures. So again, during kind of project work, or even during the holidays when you come back, you can share photos with each other. So I said that I discourage inappropriate behaviour, but I do like to let the students use it a little bit for some of their extracurricular things. So if they want to share pictures of somewhere they've been that is particularly interesting to them, then this is a great place for them to do it privately. And last tab here, that's just where you'll find your documents that you've uploaded or added or created within the group. Now you can also use this for exercises and homework where you can get the students to create their own documents, share them on here, and get them to do peer review, peer marking and feedback. So that's another option once you start to use it a little bit more. There are obviously pros and cons safety-wise to using these things, and it is definitely worth sitting down with the students before you set this up. And you definitely want to talk to your IT department, your networking department, to make sure that there's capacity for you to use this within the school, whether it's on their mobile devices or on their computers. But it's a way of extending learning beyond the classroom. It's a way of them being able to access things easily on the go, and also for you to be able to access things easily and on the go. And I like to use it as a way of passing responsibility on to the students, because when it comes to social media, they really need to understand the information they're putting out there. They need to understand the implications, and I think that by starting to use these tools in a more structured and responsible capacity as well, it gets them thinking about these things. So that's how you set up your group. It's a few ideas on how you might want to use them, and I'd be interested to hear the results. So that's one of the ways that you can use Facebook with your students. I'd be really interested to find out how you use it at the moment, or any questions you might have. So please leave a comment below, either on YouTube or on my second article. Take care.